Live from THR Zuccotti in beautiful downtown Duluth, Minnesota, it's Twin Ports Tonight with Andrew Kirov. Tonight, Don Ness, featuring the Twin Ports Tonight Band. And I'm Steve Wyatt, now your host, Andrew Kirov!
Thank you so much for being here, everybody. This is Twin Ports Tonight. Yeah. Episode number 2 right here. We're so excited to bring you guys a second episode. I am your host, Andrew Kirov, and the man to my left is your co-host this evening, Mr. Steve Wyeth. Steve Wyeth lives in Madison, Wisconsin. Steve, so good of you to come up and always do the show. What's been going on with you since last week, man? Since the first show.
I just finished my first 5K.
Wow.
Yeah, I ran a 5K.
Yeah, wow. So what made you want to do a 5K?
Mostly I wanted to get into shape, lose a little bit of weight, and I also had a friend who runs, and if you ever know people who run, they think everybody should run.
Yeah,
you know? So he got on me a lot, and eventually I agreed. I did a couch to 5K.
Okay. What is a couch to 5K? I'm not sure.
It's just training to do a 5K. Essentially, you start running half a mile, and then you run 3/4 of a mile, and you gradually, every week, you add a little more distance until you're capable of running, I think, the 3.1 miles that a 5K is.
Absolutely. So by the end of it, you were capable of running the 3.1
yes,
5K.
I ran 3.1 miles.
Yeah.
And was glad when it was over. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd say after this whole experience, you did all this running, you did all this training.
Yeah.
You're still not a runner.
I wouldn't say that. I'm going to keep running.
Okay.
Not because I'm like really committed to it or serious about it or love it. Just I lost some weight during it, and I really don't want to change my habits to gain it back, you know.
Absolutely. So do you have any other can you do anything longer than a 5K maybe?
I would never even try to. No. No.
But
I don't know.
Yeah.
Running's pretty terrible.
But you were telling me you had kind of an interesting way of motivating yourself for these 5K training sessions.
Yeah, that's right. So every time I finished one of my training sessions, or if I ran the distance I wanted to run, when I got home, I drank a beer and posted it online. Yeah.
Yeah.
Posted a picture of me drinking a beer online.
So was it the beer, or was it just like the social media following you gained from that motivated you?
It was a little bit of both. I think, those are some of my most liked posts on Facebook.
Was you drinking a beer after running a 5K?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, anyway, Steve, I really have not run. I have not run much. No.
You should run, Andrew.
Yeah, see, because now he's my friend. Now he's my friend who runs. All right, that's Steve Wyeth, everybody. We have a great show. Yeah. We have a great show for you guys this evening. On the program tonight, we have Don Ness on the show. Yeah. All right, we've got more Twin Ports Tonight right here.
So then that character puts them in the box.
But why?
Well, it's just like his thing. That's what he does.
Okay, so then what happens after that?
Oh, okay. Well, that's the best part.
Can somebody explain to me why we have a sketch with an armadillo in it?
Do you hate armadillos?
Do you? I thought we agreed there'd be no hurting of any innocent animals during this show.
Well, that's why we chose it. It's armadillo. It's Spanish for little armored one. You could dropkick that thing and be fine.
And don't worry, it's not a real armadillo. We got a fake one. It's right over... Nick, where did you put the armadillo when you brought it in?
I didn't bring an armadillo. I thought you said you were getting it.
No, I didn't bring it. I told somebody else to bring it.
You better hurry up. I came in here right before this sketch to save that poor little armadillo's life.
Oh no. Okay, quick, somebody Google how to make an armadillo.
No, I got this. Kathy was just telling me this morning that she was an extreme papier-mâché artist. She's won 5 national competitions and even won gold in the Olympics for bust making. This morning, she told me how to make papier-mâchés. I think we got this. Yeah, alright, aren't you a cute little armadillo? It's gonna work just fine. Now I just gotta bring it out. Little armadillo adventure. Yeah, turned out pretty good. I think that's fine.
Good morning. As you all know, times are tough. The city's had to make some budget cutbacks. Now I've managed to save your pensions, haven't had to fire any officers, but there's one cut I'm sure you will not be happy about.
Captain, surely you don't mean...
That's right. We're going to have to let go of the police armadillo.
Ah, but Captain, the police armadillo is over 16 inches of crime-fighting power.
And where else are we going to find someone on the force that's got their own armor built into their body?
Believe me, we've saved some money there, but I just can't justify keeping an armadillo on the force. It spends up to 16 hours a day burrowing and sleeping.
The same could be said about Officer Johnson.
Now listen, I know the armadillo's great for morale, but we don't have any evidence of it actually solving any crimes.
What about that big heroin bust back in October?
Well, to be fair, all that happened there was the armadillo got startled, jumped 3 to 4 feet in the air, knocked down the drug dealer, he fell on the ground, got himself knocked out, we caught him with 200 grams.
That ain't great police work, I don't know what is.
Armadillo, do you remember when we were rookies? Do you remember when my mother and father died the same month I found out I had diabetes? Do you remember what you told me? You're right, Armadillo, darn it! You always had a way with words.
Do you remember that stakeout at the old sanitarium in 09? I think we spent over 36 hours in that squad car, just listening to Fleetwood Mac and eating small vertebrates and fruit. We became sisters that night. I love you, Armadillo.
Captain, we can't do this to her. This armadillo has a family. She has 20 pups already. And 4 identical pups of the same gender are on the way.
Now listen, what you've said has all been very moving, but what can I do? I have an obligation to my officers, my human officers. Now how else are we going to cut this budget?
You know what? You can take my badge. I became a police officer because I've dreamed about it since I was a little boy. I've always wanted to help people. But what's the point of it all if you can't help the ones you love?
Take ours too. An armadillo's median life expectancy is 16 years. Captain, she doesn't have much time left.
Darn it, you're right. It was one thing when they got rid of the mounted patrol, but this is something much worse. Now, we won't stop until we keep fighting for armadillos everywhere. There'll be an armadillo on every police force in the country. Yeah! Armadillo! 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 Armadillo!
Armadillo, armadillo, oh, 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 armadillo. Armadillo, 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 armadillo. Armadillo, 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 oh, 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 armadillo. Armadillo, 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 armadillo. Armadillo, 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 oh, 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 armadillo.
Hey! Hey, welcome back to Twin Ports Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much again for being on the program, and we'd like to welcome our first guest of the night. Please help me welcome Mr. Don Ness. All right. Now, instead of sitting down and interviewing Don, we thought it'd be a little bit more fun if Don and Steve played some cornhole during the interview.
All right.
So Don will have you over there.
Over here,
Steve will be right over here.
All right,
And
I'll be
Kathy's
blue.
going to be the ref. She's going to keep score. We'll see who wins this cornhole match live on the show.
I'd not heard that the name of this game was cornhole until I was 30. and it caused some confusion.
Tell us about that, Steve. What was the confusion there, man?
Well, like you suddenly just hear people talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna have a picnic, it's gonna be a lot of fun, we're gonna grill some brats, we'll play cornhole. I avoided picnics for like 3 years.
Yeah. Are you a cornhole player?
This was a little bit before my time in terms of the college. We didn't have this in college, so I've done a little bit, but I can't say that I've mastered the game.
Well, let's see what happens here. Well, Kathy's going to be keeping score, but Don, while you're on the program, I just kind of wanted to talk to you. You got a book coming out, is that right?
Well, yeah, I've helped out on a book called The Will and the Way. Oh, man, see, now that's,
look at that.
I don't know, that seems like,
Yeah.
do I go?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So it's a book that I've been working on called
Oh,
Will and the Way. And it's a book, do I keep talking?
Yeah,
I'll
it's
let
a
you
book
finish
you've
that.
been
All right.
working on, yeah.
So it's a book written by about 36 volunteer authors in Duluth and telling stories about what has happened over the last 20 years in the city of Duluth. Projects like Amsoil Arena, the building of the new airport terminal, the Clayton Jackson McGee project. So it's kind of a collection of leadership stories.
Swish.
All right,
there.
my basketball.
Yeah, so it's a collection of all these things that have come to Duluth, to this city in the last number of years.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And it's actually the original volume of it was written back in 2004, and so this is the second volume. And the first kind of covered stories from the last half of the 20th century, and now this is kind of the projects from the last 20-25 years.
That's awesome. And so did you write some of these stories then? And write
I
about
wrote
some
the
of these
foreword
projects?
for it, and then we found, again, there was between 36 and 40 different authors who were telling these firsthand accounts of how they use their leadership to make these projects happen.
That's awesome. And when does this book come out? When's this coming out?
It came out last week, and so folks can find it at their favorite local retailer. And they can also find us online at duluthleaders.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds great. All right. So now we're going to start. Now we're going to start game number 2 here and see if Steve can even the score by the end of this.
We're going to talk or we're going to cornhole.
He's concentrating so hard.
Nice.
It's paying off for him. And then, Don, the other thing you've been doing, right, is you've been doing Don Ness Shows Off Duluth over there at the North Shore Theater,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we're having a great time with that. We've had 2 shows. One show had featured Lowe, another featured Mary Mack. And we will be soon announcing our next show in December. So close to Christmas. And we have a very exciting guest that we'll be announcing shortly.
Okay, but you can't announce it. You can't announce it on the show. Keep in mind, this is not coming out until September what? 15th.
Yes.
So
yeah,
hustled here.
my timing. Yeah.
yeah.
I think I put that in.
You're saying you're not saying who the guest is.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not saying it.
Oh,
because
okay.
So what's the?
This is airing on September 15th.
Yeah, no, we won't be announced by then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Well,
Sorry about that.
And so now you're working on all these projects, and I think people are always curious what you're doing now that you're not mayor. So what are you doing that really occupies most of your time?
Yeah, so I'm the executive director of the Ordine Foundation, and the Ordine Foundation.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's a private foundation that gives money to nonprofits working on poverty issues in Duluth. So we support organizations like CHUM and Damiano, the Food Bank, and a lot of youth-serving organizations, and I just love the work. It's fantastic.
That's awesome. All right. And you got one more beanbag to throw here. And all right, Kathy, who's our big winner? Don Ness. Don Ness. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we're gonna have more Twin Ports tonight, right here, everybody. Check it out.
A few weeks before I got married, I went out to the lake and got hammered with my oldest friends, Todd and Steve-O. Both passed out around the bonfire. Todd, my oldest friend, can't hold his liquor and puked in the bushes after he assaulted an old barbecue. Steve-O had to dry out on probation, so now he only drinks Schmidt 30-packs and drives a four-wheeler. They both hooked up after bar closed with most of the local women who didn't move away after high school. Steve-O was shacked up for a while when he and Jenna had the first kid, but once it got cold and he didn't have any propane, she moved in with Lance Carlson. There's a dark side to this, too. My mom and dad stayed married for, well, they're still married. My mom's Catholic and dad's Lutheran. They don't fight, probably because they don't talk. But they still eat regular meals together. Well, my mom stands by the stove. But growing up, my dad always said, "Come on, Jimmy, do the math." So naturally, my favorite subject was arithmetic. And I always thought I got a good education up there in Couple of Harbors. My wife and I first met at the Muni when I accidentally set my beer on the pool table while she was breaking the rack. She noticed me right away but didn't take a shine to me. We kept bumping into each other after that, and we shared the same love of jukebox classics like Journey's Separate Ways and Here I Go Again by Whitesnake. I like to drink American beer and play PlayStation hockey. She likes to smoke dope and fold laundry in front of the TV. Plus, she owns her own house, and her car's paid for. I thought we'd make a pretty good couple. The first time I sensed trouble in paradise was when I took her up to I Falls for the weekend and we watched the Packers and Vikings at the bar next to the motel. We split a tavern pizza and she said she didn't like sausage. Or pepperoni. With my dream woman rapidly fading before my eyes, I quick thought, I need to get serious now before she goes back to her boyfriend. I asked her to marry me and she said no. But I asked her again a week later and she said, "Oh, you're serious." She's got a good job at the casino and I'm managing 2 quick trips across the street from each other. Now that we're married, we have 2 checks. One for fun. You might just be looking at the richest man in Superior.
Wow, this is really great. We just never get to do things like this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. You spend all this time with someone, you see someone every day and you can still take them for granted.
That's true.
It isn't always easy. We still have our troubles from time to time, but I'm glad we're roommates.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about our future.
Yeah, me too. We actually have to re-up our lease before the end of the month if we want to stay together, so...
That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm moving out.
Moving out? Wait a minute. Are you breaking up with me?
I mean, I was just thinking about our future together, and honestly, I just don't see one.
I know what this is about. You're moving in with Linda, aren't you?
Well, we have been dating for about 1.5 years. I think it's about time.
Richard, do you honestly think 1.5 years is enough time to decide whether you want to live with someone? Believe me, Linda's my sister. I've lived with her for 17 years, and there's a lot of stuff you don't know about her.
Like what?
Well, like the time that she put a shrimp in my quesadilla to prove that I wasn't allergic. I spent 3 days in the hospital. That could be you next. And what about the time that I got in trouble because the fake ID she sold me said I lived on Booty Avenue? She's a nightmare, Richard.
You know what? I don't care about that stuff. She does things for me you wouldn't even think about doing.
What?
Well, like after an anime episode, when I start crying, she doesn't make fun of me. When she stirs the chocolate milk, she does it counterclockwise, the way it's supposed to be done. And you know what? Because of her, I'm not colorblind anymore. Green shirt you have on there. Used to think it was red.
I don't care if you can see colors. She's not worth it.
I mean, it's not like you're the greatest roommate ever. What, was it 8 months ago since you've done your laundry? The apartment stinks of socks.
Richard, how many times do I have to tell you you don't need to wash your clothes? That's just propaganda from Big Laundromat.
You know, when you find a hamster in the laundry, it is about time you start washing your clothes.
You leave Boris out of this. That hamster has done nothing but enrich our lives together. But I guess that doesn't matter to you. I guess you're gonna just walk out and leave me and Boris all alone.
You and Boris? I found that hamster. He's coming with me.
No, you would never have found that hamster if it wasn't living in my laundry basket.
Well, you know what? You're just a lily-livered ninny-wart.
You're a pee-hole plugger.
You're a corrugated blueberry.
Okay, that's enough, guys. That's enough. Do I have to step in and mediate this dispute for you?
You know what? I think he should.
All right, let's go on over to the couch. All right. How can we find a fair and good solution for this problem?
Well, here's my case, right? I have poured my life into not only our roommate situation, but also this hamster. I fed this hamster. I have watered Boris. I drive it to soccer practice, and I taught it how to fly a plane.
All right, so you want to keep Boris. Why do you think you should keep Boris?
While he thinks he's helping that hamster, he's feeding it the wrong food. Hamsters don't eat other hamsters. That water you're giving it, that's vodka. And then you put them behind a wheel.
Hamsters cannot hold their liquor.
Or drive.
All right. I think I've found a solution that you'll find both fair and arbitrary.
All right.
Okay. So I'm awarding custody of Boris the hamster to Richard.
Oh, wait a minute. I should get visitation rights, right?
That's fair. You can visit. You'll get visitation rights on the leap year holiday.
That works for me. That's the only day I'm busy.
Well, that's crushing.
Well, get ready, because there's more. Also, given that he has all these hamster care needs, I'm granting Richard custody of the apartment.
What?
You'll have to move out.
Where am I gonna live? I'm gonna be homeless.
Well, you could live in the writers' room here on Twin Ports Tonight.
Yeah.
Rent free?
No, I'm afraid not. Also, since you're gonna be there in the morning anyways, you think you could for once make a pot of coffee?
Yeah. That would be nice. But you know what, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
You know what we're forgetting about?
We're forgetting our 30
we forgot to do
seconds.
30 seconds of educational programming. Where are we gonna find education?
Oh, hey, I have something. Yeah, I have something that I know that people are really fascinated about. When I was mayor, all I would hear from people from dusk to dawn and then back to dawn again and back to dusk again, over and over was potholes. And potholes, tribute fest, and then more potholes. And so to explain it, I'd actually carry around this explanation about how potholes are formed. Now, I'm no scientist, but I do remember a few things from 5th grade science class.
Okay.
And potholes are actually formed through geological processes of weatherization and erosion.
PBS is a private, non-profit corporation in partnership with its member stations. Non-commercial educational license who serve the American public with programming and service of highest quality, offering educational media that helps preparing children for success in school. We will now provide 30 seconds of education.
So weathering...
Today's topic, potholes.
So weathering breaks down rocks and other materials on Earth. Running water, ice, vibrating tires causes weathering to our roads. All the road needs is a tiny crack of water to get in and freeze. Freezing water expands to make the crack bigger. Duluth's endless cycle of freezing and thawing leads to huge cracks and broken asphalt. Erosion moves rock from one place to another. Water and car tires collaborate to erode.
You have been provided with 30 seconds of education.
Thank you. All right, everybody. That's just about does it for us here at Twin Ports tonight. I'd like to thank all of my people for coming on the program. I'd like to thank the Armadillo. I'd like to thank my two roommates, Steve Wyeth, the Armadillo Police, and of course, Mr. Don Ness. This has been our second episode. Please join us next week for Twin Ports Tonight, episode number 3. Thank you, everybody. Thanks.